Thanks for video, and welcome to my review for Doctor Who: The Rings of Akhaten, if I've just said that correctly. Just finished watching now on TV, and of course I want to share my thoughts and opinions about this episode, my dislikes, my likes about it, just anything else I think is important to mention when talking about this episode. So let's talk about The Rings of Akhaten. Okay, so the story for this episode follows the Doctor and Oswald's first adventure with the Doctor, travelling into the future, travelling into this kind of brand new world, this kind of, I would say a planet maybe, or maybe some sort of a solar system. By the looks of it, it looks like giant chunks of rocks that have got inhabitants on it, and revolve around this kind of bigger planet, this kind of this orange kind of sun in a sense, and basically just takes her there to explore the local town area and this tribe, this culture in a sense, and it's an interesting idea for a first episode to show your companion. Reminds me of the episode The Beast Below with Amy Pond way back in season 5. Very similar type of deal with that. This idea of something on the planet in a sense, and the first act of the episode is generally quite interesting because it opens up with the Doctor looking into Clara Oswin's past, her parents and where she originated from, and just this whole idea of the leaf, this one leaf, going on her dad's face, and eventually leads to her, at least to him meeting his obviously birthing Oswald. Of course, this whole idea of this one leaf, causing a chain reaction in the sense of possibilities, days that never happened, things that could have been impossible to happen, just this one, occurrence within time in a sense. If that leaf basically was not there, then she would not exist in a sense. It's just that one idea. And I like the idea that the episode explores on this whole idea of culture and memories, and the idea of memories being precious, and history and all that type of stuff, and the whole idea of the market, you can buy stuff and get stuff from just giving precious heirlooms, memories, history kind of stuff. I like the idea that that's one of the strong points of this episode, and I really like the comedy elements of it. A little bit of comedy elements between the two characters, like the bonding between them two, and the dialogue was interesting here and there. And I like the different cultures, and I like the fact that not all the aliens are baddies in the sense they're just there as a market. Especially the reference to the Doctor said, basically Clara Oswald says, have you been here before? Yes, I was here once before with my granddaughter. A clear reference to the original classic Doctor Who, which is interesting to reference that just out of the blue. I think that's part of a bigger picture as well. I don't know if I'm just, scheming that or not, or just, thinking in my mind, but just why randomly bring that up, I know it was brought up in a past episode, within David Tennant's episode, the Doctor's daughter in a sense, and he was mentioned, there because he obviously needed to, and they obviously had the Doctor's daughter on top of stuff. But why randomly bring it up within a market? I get the fact that you're trying to bring up past scenarios, past histories and episodes and stuff, but it's just a bit weird how they just randomly threw it in there. So maybe she's coming back. I don't know. That's just a theory. And of course, we follow this little girl, this little girl called the Years of something, and she has to sing this song to this kind of god, this type of this annual type of thing, passed on from generations. And of course something goes quite wrong, and basically this god wakes up, and of course stuff happens. She gets beamed into this kind of like a little rock area in a sense, and apparently this this god in a sense is basically going to absorb all life in the universe in a sense, absorb everyone's soul and memories and stuff. On top of it, it's basically a vampire in a sense, but a god-like vampire in a sense, kind of thing. And the villain, I wouldn't call it much of a villain. The villain again was extremely weak, much weaker than last week's episode, to be perfectly honest. I have got some cool problems with this episode. Being the fact that I waited a week to watch this episode, I didn't think it lived up to the hype. I think the first act of the episode was interesting and well done, considering it was like a first kind of adventure type thing in a sense. Second act, this whole idea of the song, and this just taking forever on this little rock thing, the little rock area with this thing there's basically this god's mummy thing in the chair waking up and bashing the thing, and got pointless villains, really cool design villains, of this kind of mask and stuff in the eyes, and this idea of these powers looks really, really awesome, but again they're just not really used as much. They're just randomly brought in, and it just takes too long in some places. I felt it dragged out and just filler little bits within the episode, so it was a little disappointing in that aspect. The last The third act of the episode was a bit more interesting. The idea of the Doctor, setting the timelines, and just sharing his history with this, god in a sense, is basically destroy the planets and stuff kind of thing. And basically, how do they stop this, god in a sense from destroying the universe by basically song and memory and just the whole idea of that. And it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, and I like that aspect of it, but I just don't think it's strong enough for a 45-minute episode, perfectly honest. It was good in the sense of, like, finding out more about Clara Oswin's past and her future, her state of mind, and the Doctor, and where he's from at this point and stuff, and just finding out more information, and, the whole idea of, impossible things happening in life, and just, how it's the littlest things just can be so important, in a sense. I like the idea of that, but, I just didn't think it was a massively thrilling episode. I just think, okay, I watched it, it was okay, I wouldn't watch it again. And that's one of the episodes I'm going to think I'm going to ignore in the box set. When I get the box set later on this year, the season 7 box set, I just got a feeling I'm going to skip this episode again because it's not a thrilling episode. It's more of just a character episode, really, but just with filler moments in it. And it's a shame, really. It's a really shame for a Doctor episode to be like that. And, you can get episodes that are, thrilling, exciting, got interesting villains, good concepts, and, some drama, but again, you don't stretch that out for a 45-minute episode and just put random things in there. Just the villain was a bit weak. The character episode was quite good. It was quite interesting. The dialogue was quite good. I like some of the visual effects of it. Quite interesting. I like the culture of it. Well, that's fine. But as a villain and as a 45-minute episode, didn't deliver enough for me as a huge Doctor Who fan. That's just my thoughts and opinions on that actual episode itself. I'm really hoping the next episode does deliver a really interesting, thrilling episode. From the trailer that I saw, the Ice War is going to be coming back, called the Cold War. I'm looking forward to that. They haven't come back in Doctor Who since the really early Doctor Who's, the really classic Doctor Who years. So I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with that. It looks like a bit of a thrilling, but more of an intense building episode. Hopefully they do some good ideas with that maybe. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's been my thoughts and opinions on this episode. What are your thoughts and opinions? Have you seen the episode? What do you think of the series so far? Is it leading a bit slow, kind of thing? What are your thoughts? I'd love to know. Comment down below, love to your opinions. So in the meantime, Andrew from Media World, signing out.